Oh, you got your camera out already, girl. You are just so sharp. You know, I was gonna. Let me tell you, everybody, what's happening here. Now, see, people be telling me, I don't. My main agenda here is really to try to reach out to the Hebrew Israelite world, the community, and let them know about Zion. Now, this is one of the brothers here. They posted, they tagged me. This is Biblical Archaeology Review. And they're talking about here the excavation that's going on here. So read what this topic is here.
It says, Eilat Mazar was forced to put her excavation of what may be King David's palace on hold to excavate the collapsing northern tower. Her amazing discoveries were worth it.
So now the fact is that when we talk about what they're calling King David's castle or whatever, that it's clear that they haven't found anything there that actually states that that's King David's castle, or anything to connect it, and the parchment that they found, or they say they found, with Hezekiah's seal on it, that wasn't found in excavation. Somebody was walking by a garbage heap, they say, and they found it in excavation. So they found it in the garbage heap. It wasn't found in excavation. Nobody dug it up. You see, and that's one of the problems with what they calling about this Jerusalem, or the archaeology of what they calling that Jerusalem. Most of the stuff that they say they found up there, no one has dug up. It just pops up from somewhere out of the black market. That's another story. But now, what they have found here in the place that they call in Jerusalem, or King David, is everything dates to Hezekiah's time, or to Josie's time. Now, as we saw the video that we done there, we actually broke down what this place is, Bethel, and the artifacts that there that leads you to Josie's time. And when Josie came there, and all the graves that's there, and everybody know they're there, was where the people was worshiping the dead, and a lot of people are still worshiping the dead today. But that's a whole nother story. But the point is here is that so this is Biblical Archaeology Review. Someone tagged me here on this subject matter, King Davis, and here, this guy here. What's that brother's name there, or whoever name that is?
Eugene, everything you need and more, Thomas.
You see my name there. Howshua Amariel. So now what happens was I responded under him. You see what it says one. It says like I guess that's one response, right?
That's a like.
Oh, that's a like. Well, I guess I don't know if he. So anyway, so I responded here. I replied here, and then when I hit the reply, either way, they deleted the reply, and underneath the reply I gave him, which is right up the top here, he put like. So then I went to the next moment to because I wanted to I edited it because I wanted to point out Biblical Archaeology Review, because in my reply I'm mentioning Biblical Archaeology Review, and this is Biblical Archaeology Review. So you would think that they wouldn't have a problem with referencing my research in reference to Mount Zion, in reference to Biblical Archaeology Review. Well, now, Stephanie, take the time just to read this. I know it's quite lengthy, but take the time to read that. Read that word for word, letter for letter. Let me just step other side and let you get in a good position there.
The Noble Howshua Amariel first became aware of the House of Yahweh artifacts in 1986. The show was hosted by the director of the Metropolitan Museum, Philip DeMarbilo, with the help of Martin Weil, the director of the Israel Museum, which proves the Hebrew Israelite presence in the Holy Land. This was the first American exhibition to survey the archaeological collections of the Israel Museum in Jerusalem. However, the show didn't mention where the artifact concerning the house of Yahweh was discovered. Nevertheless, this artifact meant to us that the tabernacle of David was found. In 1997, we saw an article in the Chicago Jewish Star newspaper that spoke of another fragment that mentioned the house of Yahweh and was dated to be older than the first we heard about 11 years earlier.
So now this is, you guys normally hear every time I'm telling people about the story, I'm always talking about that article, because I was able to use that in the Jewish newspaper to at the internet and go to the internet and actually find out where this artifact was at. But the first time I heard about it was, in this exhibit when it was actually brought to Chicago. But now let's go a little bit further. Let's mention that's 1997. Now continue reading.
Nevertheless, the article also did not mention where the piece was found. It was not until we did further research that year that we discovered the newly released artifact reported in November 1997 edition of Biblical Archaeology Review entitled 3 Shekels for the Lord.
So now what happened is that one of the artifacts for that, when I looked it up online, and I always tell everybody this whole story, everybody's seen it 1,000 times because I show everybody that comes up here. One of the artifacts that the main artifact was the House of Yahweh artifact, which was in this broadcast. Now what ends up happening is that as I was looking for that artifact, and another artifact, this popped up in the newspaper, which was the 3 shekel thing, which also mentions the House of Yahweh. But the first artifact mentions the son, Eliphaz, and the second artifact mentions the father. Now the father artifact is the 3 shekel artifact. Now, basically, they had disconnected the two. They hadn't actually connected who the two individuals was until you actually do the research here. Then you can see the seal with the father and the son, and both of them are mentioned to be at the House of Yahweh, which were the captains of the citadels or the priests of the citadels, however you want to look at it. The point here is that this artifact here with the father on it mentions it was written in Biblical Archaeology, and this is 1975. Now I'm quoting this. Now this is Biblical Archaeology here on Facebook. They have Biblical Archaeology. It's their official, insignia, and they have. And so now, and I'm quoting them here on the House of Yahweh and their research on them, the House of David, under the tag. Someone tagged me. And you can see I put it when the guy tagged me, I wanted to make it, make it big. See, this Biblical Archaeology. And I go back there to look at it, it's gone. It's deleted. So then what happens here, so I put it here at the top. And as you can see, it's on there, it's on the site. You can see it's there. And I made it bold here. Now, let's go down. I quote Biblical Archaeology again down here in 2001. But let's read down to that. Continue reading, Stephanie.
The article spoke of an ancient inscription record of 3 shekels to the house of Yahweh, which they supposed to be a reference of Solomon's temple, and also, just as the previously mentioned article in the Jewish Star, the writer stated here that no one knows where they were discovered, or at least they are not talking, quote unquote. However, the piece by Herschel Shanks made mention that Beit Yahuwah had been found complete in only one extra biblical inscription, a faded astrakhan from a rod with an obscure context. Finally, the location of the first artifact was revealed, so we decided to take a more careful look at information on a rod. In May of 2001, Biblical Archaeology Review published an article by Ephraim Stern entitled Pagan Yahwehism.
So now we're dealing with another article from Biblical Archaeology, and I was as I was traveling through the land, as I indicated, I first came to the land of Israel in 1987. And, in Biblical Archaeology, I don't know when I became aware of it, but I know that around that time when I really started looking for the House of Jah, then I started, I connected with Biblical Archaeology. Who don't want to read Biblical Archaeology when you're dealing with the archaeology of the land? Fantastic magazine. I ordered it. I used to get every episode, every bit of it. So it really sort of hurt me when I actually read when I actually found Telluride, and I actually came across this information, and I shared it with biblical archaeology, and they didn't post my research. You see, and this is before this whole thing too. Before these guys came out, they I kept sending letters out to biblical archaeology in order for them to at least the research that I had, to print it up in one of their magazines. They never did that. Actually, you also, Stephanie, you took a stab at it, right?
Yes.
To try to inform biblical archaeology what we're doing, right? We still haven't heard from, have we?
No.
But now this is here. This is actually their Facebook site, and they would actually delete a comment from their Facebook site. From that the guy made here. And now I'm quoting another article here, and this is the actual words from the article because I got biblical archaeology. So I'm quoting another article, and this is the article now that was in 2001. And as you said, we continue to read that, Stephanie. And this is on the house of Yahweh, and they go off into a whole thing on pagan Yahweh. And this is now the deep thing about this is that this is what most of the brothers are quoting. This is how the archaeologists basically have spent this whole thing on what they call pagan Yahweh. And continue to read that, Stephanie.
The folk religion of ancient Israel mentions the house at Arad and shows both a picture of the inner sanctuary and the house of Yahweh inscription next to one another. However, the picture displayed on the site resembles a tabernacle and not a temple structure. Also, because the artifact beside it talked of this place being the house of Yahweh, this could very well be the tabernacle of David. In addition, the article put up the thought that previous artifacts found, like the ivory pomegranate, a priestly object, and 3 shekel astrakhan, were referring to this place. However, the most important thing that we discovered by examining the artifacts concerning Eliashib and his father, whose inscription whose name is Eshiyahu or Ashiyahu, was our comparison of this with the oldest inscription found that mentioned the house of Yahweh. The man mentioned was named Ashiyahu and was only a generation or so before that of Eliashib of the house of Yahweh.
So now it's getting deep. It's getting deep now. Keep going. It's almost there. Keep going.
So the man mentioned, right, Telluride. The fact that we had found several writings that called Eliashib the son of Ashiyahu, these 2 artifacts are both mentioning the house of Yahweh, the oldest mentioning the name of the father Ashiyahu, and the later mentioning the name of the son Eliashib. We have concluded that both of these artifacts are referring to the priestly family of the captain of the citadel at the house of Yahweh, and found this to be the tabernacle of David.
Now this is what you're reading now. Basically, is part of the article that I sent into biblical archaeology. This is what I sent it to them because they had posted both of these things. So I basically connected the dots. Now, most of the scholars, they have never connected the dots between these 2 artifacts, and they've actually translated the name of his father. They actually translated them incorrectly, and they didn't put them with the seals that mentioned both names at Telluride. Nobody's done that. I'm the only person that's done that. They've connected these 2 House of Yahweh artifacts together. I sent this into biblical archaeology, and then what I did here, let me show you here. This is the link that I put up on the page here. Now, initially, this is the second time I put this up. The first time I put it up, you can actually see the picture that I had here. And this is the picture of the artifact here. Now, this artifact here that was found at the house of Yahweh here, we got it there. And it mentions here clearly. Now, see, now, in their propaganda, and this is what most of the brothers have bought into. In the propaganda, they try to say this is a rebellious house, some type of a house of a Baal or pagan Yahweh. But look at what the artifact says. It clearly says, and it goes off and it says, man of Yahweh. Read that, Steph. Read what the artifact translation says there. To master as
Eliashib, Yahweh man.
So this is the man of Yahweh. This is the way it's said. So how could they even try to acquaint this place as being not the house of Yahweh, or not some pagan ritual or pagan place, when it clearly states there, man of Yahweh? Continue reading.
Man Yahweh of, I peace has as from to give of Shamariah Inc.
So now this is the guy that's actually writing this. You follow me? He's writing this pottery, and he's sending offerings, you see, on this pottery, or in this bowl, this offering bowl. We're gonna go off into showing you how these whole bowls looks. And then he's sending this offering. He's sending it to the priest there, or to the guy that's in charge, the captain that's in charge of the citadel, of the house of Yahweh. And then he's making a statement. Keep reading. He said, well, I'm on my way.
As to sound steadfast, yet I of word say as to has Jerusalem.
So he have a word to say. So he say he's on his way. He got a whole word to say to what? To Jerusalem. Keep going.
House you Yahweh.
So he's addressed this bowl, this piece, and he's sending it to Eliphaz at Jerusalem. You see, which was found in excavation at Tel Aviv. So this is, but then even when they make mention of this artifact here, they always make mention of House of Yahweh. They never refer to this as Jerusalem. You see, so all of these things are cover-ups, and I'm not trying to. I'm just letting my brothers know that, see, these people, the biblical archaeology, they know. These people aren't stupid. They know. These archaeologists, they know. You see, but I'm not trying to sit around here and fight with them over the deception that they didn't put forth on the word. These archaeologists know. You know, I'm just a brother from the hood. You know, and I'm out here reading this and looking at this stuff, and they've been doing this forever. You see, the archaeologists were the first grave robbers, and they sit around New Egypt, kings of tomb, everything. So they know exactly what the house, the Tel Aviv is the actual Mount Zion, is Jerusalem. And I'm not trying to prove nothing to them. I got my research out here. I got the stuff translated that they don't translate. I put stuff. Now, when you guys tag me in here, you see, like this brother did here, to try to show them my research, to try to have them, evaluate me. All they want to do is what they do second. Let me just refresh this now. This is it now. This is where I got this video out. You see, so let's just refresh this and see what happens, okay? Because this is, now, see, you see it's there now, right? This is biblical. And you would think that if they had a problem with me, they would address me and say, well, no, this is not what. No, this is the brother here. This is the statement. This is all the people here making comments. Amazing, huh? But now let's see what they do to my comment here. Let's go. Let's put it back in there. Let's put the page here. See, it's right there at the top on that subject. Let's refresh the page. Okay, beautiful. Now we go. Now, let's see what we get. So, see, now that's the page. It's all up there. Huh? Now, what didn't happen? Okay, wow.
Whoops.
What didn't happen to my comment? Now, the brother's tag on me is still there. Originally, his like after that is still there. So, they give an impression that I didn't respond. You see, that he didn't tag me. You see, then I didn't respond. In a few, let's see what pops up. You see nothing. They took mine down. They took my comment down. You see, they took it all down. So when you people out there try to understand, now I can post it up again. Let's just post it up again, right? Let's do this very quickly because that took too long. Post it up again. Okay, hold on. Is that all? Is that all? Was that all?
That's just blank.
See, is that all that? Okay. Let's see, is that the, okay, I got to go back into the artifact, I think, here, where I got it from. This artifact here. Okay, let's go. Okay. Let's see that. Over there. Okay, I went to my Facebook page because I had this up here. Let's go to my original comment just to show you guys what's happening here. This is my Facebook page. And I had just did a video here on this artifact. Let's go down a little bit more. That's us getting out trumpets and stuff, which is a whole nother thing within itself. Okay. So let's just go scroll down. Somebody asked me a question about. Okay, we got the. Let's see. Okay, the bowls. Okay, there we go. This is when we was talking about the artifact. Cause see, this is how it act. This is how it looks. You know, the whole information, how it looked. And you see, I made biblical archaeology here a lot larger than what I just showed you a second ago. That just disappeared. And this is how it actually looked. You know, when you posted it up. This is how originally when I posted it. So what I did, I took this here when the brother reached out to me. I just took all of this link here, went all the way down here. You see, and I put it like this. You see, and I just copied it, and then I took it over to biblical archaeology. You see, I put it in here like that because now he tagged me. I put this in here. The first thing I did was that I replied underneath him, and when I replied underneath him, okay, let's do it to show you exactly how I did it. Let's do it again. I replied underneath him, and then I pushed the button and shared it. And what happened was the picture came up just like that. You see that? Huh? Mm-hmm. And then I said to myself, okay, let's edit that and make this bigger. So what I did, so then after that, the brother, he gave me a smiley face. So then I said, okay, well, I want to make biblical archaeology big. I want them to see that this is, this is referring to them. This is connected with them. So I took it into edit, and then I said, well, okay, biblical archaeology. Let me just make that really, really big so they can see it's connected to. So I found it here, and I just typed in biblical archaeology again. Really bold. L-I-C-K-L. Then A-R-C-H, and then A-B-O-L-O-G. Okay, and that's it. G-Y. Okay, too many G's. Y. Okay, and I said review here. And then, so this is exactly what I did. Now I went back over letter per letter because, I can't see too clearly. So I went back over just to double check the spelling, make sure I spelled it clearly. And I took it out slowly. Okay. And then this is, okay, now, got that, perfect. So now I said, okay, it's mentioned there, I pasted it, took it like this, big, because it's really bold. And then I found the other, scrolled it down here to find the other section where it's also mentioned biblical archaeology in 1981, which is right here. Took that out. And then I, did that, put a little space in here. Okay, so that's it, beautiful. So after I do that, I click save again. I think actually, when I did that too, I made the house of Yahweh bigger. But let's see what's going to happen. So then I click save. Now, this is exactly what happened before.
This doesn't seem to be possible just now. Please try again.
So then, so you saw it there, right? So when I refreshed,
It says unable to post comment.
right. So then when I refreshed it, this was originally on his brother's comment. Then I refreshed it and it was gone.
Wow.
And you can see that's the view here, view there, huh? So then I said, okay, let me post it up here on the main wall. Maybe it's a problem here, huh? So I said, let me post this up here. Okay, oops, I messed up again. I gotta go back over here again. I gotta go back over here to my home, my original page. Okay, yeah, copy, and I put it right here. Of course, biblical archaeology. I went through the process of making it big again because I didn't save that part. And then I put it on the main wall. So then you can see it pops up. Now, of course, the picture didn't pop up. Now, this is when we started our video here, huh? So you can see the picture didn't pop up on it. So now we did our little talk here. So now let's go back now and refresh it. And let's see what they do now this time. See, comments go. You see, so biblical archaeology do not want me to respond to anything that has to do with the house of Yahweh, Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, pagan Yahwehs, proving that that's Zion, proving that that's Jerusalem, artifacts, translation. They don't want to have nothing to do with Howshua Amariel, or any proof, or any research, or any translations that has anything to do with Jerusalem or Tel Aviv, or even quotes that they made in the past in any of their magazines that's referring to the place. You see, so I want my people to understand that I'm not trying to convince biblical or the world. I'm trying to get you to come here and pray. That my objective is to bring people here to pray, because I understand that once we start praying, things are going to happen, and they know that things are going to happen. You see, so the tabernacle of David, they just came up here and they did a political thing, and and going through the land, and they doing a tour, and
House of David.
House of David. I apologize, huh? And they coming through it, and they have a job to do. See, they came up here with my layer, and they walked in the Holy of Holies, and it's clear that there is a division. And people say to me, because Kenya, he's always saying, "Oh, she was just all the Kenya." I love that. He said, "Why can't we all just get along?" That's Kenya. He's a good guy. And Kenya's trying to bring everybody together. But what Kenya don't understand is that we're living in a time where the wheat's supposed to be separated from the tare. See, although we all look alike, we don't have the same heart. You follow me? There's those of us that have a heart to come up here and pray. And there are those of us that have a heart to come up here and play. Our people from the Mona, although they were right here at Zion, right here, they refused to come up to Zion. You see. And we have the sinners in Zion. I call them the sinners in Zion because they admit that this is the place. But the key thing is they refuse to come up in the holy days. They refuse to come up and pray in the holy days. You see. So the people that are praying, there's an old saying, the family that prays together stays together. That's an old saying they used to make it. But these people, so I make it very simple. If you're coming up here praying, and at the appointed time, because the holy days aren't my appointed times, you see. See, these brothers came up and hooked up with my layer because my layer had changed the holy day. Me and my layer was working together, but we divided when she decided to make the conference that we had that was supposed to be centered around the holy day. When she went to set up the conference on another day, but that wasn't on the holy day. You see, Kenya was supposed to be bringing up people for the Pesach, which he did. and he put Feast of Tabernacle, which he did, 2015. My Leah was supposed to be bringing up people because she did videos on me. People that was connected with Kenya's videos, they connected to me through Kenya. People that connected to me through my Leah, which is Johnny and Kiki. Johnny, he basically and Kiki, they basically came up with connected to my Leah. And how you was were you one of the people that connected to her? That you was it my Leah or was it the other sister? Yaina.
I did connect with her, but I came up through Kenyan.
Okay, so Yaina was one of the people that I know you was working with Yaina. Was that right, Stephanie?
I was.
But her focus was still on the place they called Jerusalem. Either way, my Leah was the person that was telling everybody here, you know, about what was happening. And I was the first person that my Leah interviewed to try to get the word out about Zion. But again, once the people, it's a thing they say 10 minutes of fame or 10 seconds of fame. And once she got famous to a certain degree, her heart was turned. And then people started moving her to promote, you know, whatever other people was working with her. And they turned her heart from Zion and the holy days. Not from Zion, but from the appointed seasons of God. And I saw that there was people here that had actually started trying to, after we had found Zion, they had actually moved to try to not come up on the holy day. And then there was other people that even wanted to try to make as if this wasn't the right time for the holy days. And this is why this king from Solomon, you know, and he's a king from the Limba that I had been working with. And people know that I had connected with the Limba and trying to bring the peace up here. And I talked to him about doing DNA tests to verify, you know, exactly who among them, because of course all the Limba aren't priests. So we was trying to verify who were the actual ones. So I'm working with him. We're working together. But he then comes out with a calendar. You know, that's it's not ancient Enoch calendar or ancient Egyptian calendar, which connects with our people in Egypt, and it's the Enoch calendar. It's a legitimate calendar, but it's not the Moshe calendar. You follow me? That is centered around the holy days. See, we got to understand something. Enoch calendar was a world calendar that everybody know, everybody, even after the ark. But when Moses came, the Most High said, this is the beginning of months unto you. So this made it different than appointed seasons than the Enoch calendar. And the Most High made it clear that he brought in the moon specifically for us in accounting of, when he said this is the beginning of months, moons, news, all that word is connected unto you. So this is where the brother's confused at, and the king got confused, and his advisors confused him. And you got other people, like you said, Eltron and Limiyahu, these people just came along. And like I keep saying to you, before I did my research looking for Zion, I'm the person that came out with the first Israelite calendar. Because our people here in Israel, they had the Jubilee year came around, the Shabbat year came around, and our brothers in Dimona, these people in Israel offered them the land in the Sabbath year. They didn't know what time, they didn't know they were supposed to be planning in the Sabbath year. I ran up here with a calendar in order to inform these people, and I gave it to the priesthood in Dimona, and to let them know that what year, you know, that it was a Sabbath year. So I'm the first person that got that copyrighted and everything, because I copyright, because whatever you give our brothers in Dimona, Benjamin gonna take it and put his name on it. That's another story. So anyway, so what ends up happening, I copyrighted, made sure everybody know it was my research and my information. And either way, the point was is that that's why I came out with the calendar, to help my people. It wasn't no ego tripping. It was sitting around identifying the time and the season, the holy days to come up to Zion. I was selling the calendar. I was making money selling the calendar before anybody else was. And I stopped selling it when I saw, when we found Zion, and I saw that people wasn't coming up for the holy days. I saw that they were using the calendar to keep the holy days in America. So So I said, I'm going to stop selling this calendar because if you ain't, because the purpose for having a calendar is to come to Zion. So I saw that the attack on the people then had moved from, okay, they say this is Jerusalem, to the point where what time is the actual holy day supposed to be? You see, so Yahoo brought his people up here at the wrong time, killed a baby lamb, and when I slap him on this, now he gonna turn around like a kid, like a child, and say, well, that's not the place that we got to redeem Mount Zion. No, so all of this is childish. It's foolishness. And even the artifact that I just shows that this is Mount Zion, the house of Yahweh, and Jerusalem. You see, so all of these things is the devil. And the devil is doing nothing but claiming his own. He's claiming his own through the deceit, because everybody that loves Zion will humble themselves. 144,000 will humble themselves, hear the call, come and learn what they don't know, and we will pray together. But all these so-called internet shepherds and all these people here that they want to continue to say that the Jewish language is the language. It's not. They want to continue to use their Torahs, which is not the actual Torah, which is with their benediction. You follow me? That Ezra made up for our people after we came back from Babylon, which doesn't have all of the actual information in it. That's a whole nother story. And they want to continue to brown nose these Jewish people and go into what they call Mount Zion and their holy days. You see, so what we're doing here is calling, and I keep saying this to everybody, the only people that are going to hear this call is the 144,000. That's the only people I'm interested in. The people that's coming here to pray, to seek the Most High with their whole heart. Everybody else, whether if you stay in America, the scripture says you're going to be slaughtered. Well, if you come here, the scripture says that the sinners in Zion are going to be slaughtered. A third of the city. You see. And only the righteous. And it says those that remain in Jerusalem, Mount Zion, those are the ones that are going to be proclaimed to be holy. That the Most High are going to have set aside. Is going to proclaim. These are going to be his people. And going to be known his people because they was up here praying and wailing and calling and looking for him to deliver. Peace.